Hi everyone, welcome back to the Crafty Author. My name is Anissa. I am the Crafty Author and welcome to my quilting room. Today I am going to be answering your questions that you have asked me, and I haven't been able to really get to a lot of these comments that have been made because I've just been so crazy with everything that's going on in life. So I thought this would be a really great time for me to just sit down and answer some of the questions that you have asked. So that's what we're going to do. But first, before I say anything more than that, I want to say a very, very, very heartfelt thank you to all of you for all of the condolences and well wishes that you sent me when my father-in-law passed. So it has been crazy. It has been hard and it has been just exhausting. So I want to thank you, and I thank you for your patience with me. And I did get my cast off too. So in the midst of all of that, my hand is really messed up. It still is, but it feels much better than it did. I still have swelling going on in here. So I've had to really kind of take it easy and not really push it too hard. But I am planning to get back into the swing of things this week and start doing some more tutorials. So we will be working with the Brother machine this week. And then I will start with the 10 needle again as well. So we'll be doing that. And then it's also National Quilters Month. So I'll be working on something for that as well that's going to be special, a quilt block. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that. And there are lots of companies having lots of sales, so I'll be letting you know about that. So if you're not following me on social media, you will definitely want to, because that's where I post everything. I post in my personal private group, the Crafty Author. I also post on my page. I post on Instagram, TikTok, sometimes, Pinterest, and Twitter. So you can find me pretty much everywhere. All right. Oh, and YouTube, of course. So I have a question here, and this is in regards to the 10 needle, the Ricoma 10 needle embroidery machine, my 4-month honest review about that. B Hallmark asked me, this looks so high end. Do you machine embroider for a living, or do you use it purely for your personal creations? I'm a beginner quilter and really don't know enough about what someone would use this for. So to answer your question, I use it for, yes, I have an Etsy shop, so I do some personalization on my rag quilts and also quilts, and I make quilting labels with it, quilt labels, and I also do t-shirts and that sort of thing. But I do use it for personal hobby usage, and I also use it for my Etsy business. So what I have found is that the 10 needle is really pretty awesome for a hobbyist as well, because it opens the door for you to do more things. It gives you an opportunity to get your projects done a lot faster, number one. And number two, you're not doing as many color changes as you normally would on a single needle. Now, there's nothing wrong with a single needle and sitting there changing out all of the colors. But what's cool about a 10 needle is you get all of those hoops, and it's best to get the biggest hoop that you can afford, basically, is how that works. So, you at least want to have a 5x7 hoop, to be honest, because that will cover most of the in the hoop projects that you might see from, embroiderers, digitizers, and that sort of stuff. But that's usually the rule of thought with that. All right, so the next one is, I'm just going to scroll here and kind of randomly pick. This one comes from Frances Stewart, and this was on the quilt block of the month, number 11, the disappearing 9 patch. Can I cut in the center 2.5 inches, half of 5 inches instead of your 2 1/4 would it come out like your finished block? You can modify any quilt block. It will come out that way, but your block size will change. So your finished block size will change if you change the measurements of any quilt block that you make. But yes, you can change those to whatever fits whatever you need it to be. This was another comment on the quilt block of the month number 11 disappearing 9 patch. I'm a new quilter. This video was so well explained. I'm starting this project tomorrow. Thank you so much for that kind comment. I really do appreciate it. All right, so this is a Cricut question. And this was on how to make a large home decor sign with the Cricut Maker. So Tori Martin says, new to Cricut and even more new to using premium vinyl. I want to start making these ASAP. What all vinyl do you prefer using for canvas, glass, and wooden frames? So Tori, I have used the Cricut premium vinyl, and I have also used scissor vinyl, and both products are excellent. I am more privy to the scissor vinyl. I just find it a little easier to work with for weeding purposes, but the Cricut vinyl is equally as good. So I have a ton of Cricut vinyl here in my craft room, and I use it all the time with absolutely no problems. Now, when I'm working with canvas or a wooden frame, I prefer to use heat transfer vinyl for those two projects. I just feel like it adheres to the fibers better, and it's a little more permanent, and you don't have it peeling up like you would with just a premium vinyl. And for glass, the premium vinyl works great for that. So that's what I would do for those. This is an AccuQuilt question. This was in response to a video that I made on how to clean an AccuQuilt rag die and mat, how I clean my rag dies. Now, this is just how I do it, okay? So there is no right or wrong way, and I am not telling you how to clean your rag dies, but this is how I clean mine. And if you're interested in cleaning yours the same way that I do mine, then this method works for me. So Trina asked, I cut out 120 squares of flannel today with my brand new 8.5-inch rag die. I had to stop and clean out the blades every time I run a cut of fabric through, and sometimes I had to finish cutting my fabric with my scissors because the blades didn't cut through. Is this normal? So Trina, yes, it is normal to have to stop and clean out your blades every now and then. I wouldn't say that you would need to do that after every cut. That sounds to me like there's still fiber stuck down in your blades that you need to get out of there. And sometimes if you're using too many layers of fabric at one time, remember flannel is pretty thick, so they recommend doing one layer of flannel. I push the envelope and I do a lot more than that. I won't even tell you how many layers I do. So you kind of want to follow their recommendations. And sometimes, yes, sometimes it doesn't cut on the actual edge. If you have too much fabric stuck in the blades, it won't cut it all the way through, and you will have to use your scissors to kind of free it a little bit. So yes, that is normal. But when you clean your die, you want to make sure that you clean it out really well so that you don't have that issue and so that you don't have to cut, because that just creates extra work and then it's kind of pointless, right? So that is what I recommend. Go back through, make sure everything is really cleaned out, and see how that works. All right, this is a very nice comment on probably one of my most popular videos, which is the easy rag quilt with cotton and flannel. I love cotton and flannel. Cotton frays so well. It frays so much better than any of the fabrics that we use in a rag quilt. And so I do like to use that kind of fabric a lot. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's not super soft. So that's why we use flannel and minky, right? Because it's super, super soft. but it does not rag and shred like cotton does. It just doesn't. And it doesn't give that total, I mean, if you did an entire cotton rag quilt, you would have a beautiful ragging on that. So I should do one like that. I really should. But I absolutely love it. But anyway, Sharon Krebs says, very informative and the quilt is beautiful. Thank you, Sharon. I really, really have fun making these rag quilts. I absolutely love them. And I sell them in my Etsy shop. So if you find yourself in love with them, but you really don't want to make one yourself, Crafty Author Boutique on Etsy. I carry them in there. So, okay. So this one is pretty important. So this was on my video on how to make a t-shirt quilt. So Kathy asks, looking for your video on binding the t-shirt quilt. Thanks. Kathy, I am a slacker and I still have my t-shirt quilt sitting over here that I need to finish. So I messed up a lot of stuff, but my hand got messed up. Everything got messed up. I got sick, the whole 9 yards. It was just like that last half of last year screwed everything up. So I am playing catch up. I am super, super behind, but binding a t-shirt quilt is the same as binding any quilt. So you will just make your binding the same way, and you will sew it on the same way, the same exact way. So I do have videos in here on how to bind a quilt. If you follow those steps for your t-shirt quilt, you'll bind your t-shirt quilt. So I apologize for my slacking, but that's the answer to it. All right. So my next comment comes from Carrie Marvin, and this was on the Quilting Edge to Edge on Your Embroidery Machine Part 2. I can't talk today. Everything's a tongue twister. And she says, I'm watching videos so I can do my own edge to edge. Thank you for sharing this as you tackled this with what appears to be very little guidance from others. You did a great job, and I know you will get better the more you do it. You should be very proud of yourself. I would agree you probably don't want to do more than a twin size with this method and would want to put the bulk of the fabric to the left of the machine so you don't have as much quilt to work against you as you stitch out each hooping. Seriously, good job. Carrie, thank you so much for saying that. I have gotten so much hate for doing the quilting edge to edge video on my embroidery machine, my Brother embroidery machine. And honestly, it got to the point where I had to deactivate the comments for a while because I just could not deal with the amount of just the criticism. I mean, it was unbelievable, really, people. It was. Number one, I'm new at that. So I don't quilt on my embroidery machine all the time. And I was trying to show you all what it's like from a beginner's standpoint. Now, I understand that there are videos out there from other YouTubers who do this a lot, and they are great at it. And so, you know, that's the beauty of YouTube, is that there's a million people out there doing sometimes the same thing and sometimes very different things, but everybody has their own different technique on how to do things. And I was showing you what it was like for me to personally go through that, because you know what I was going through when I was doing that is really what people go through. It can be very challenging sometimes if you don't have the right tools to do those things. So I was just doing it through my own personal experience. And boy, I was made to feel like I was a loser. I didn't know what the hell I was doing or what the hell I was talking about. And, you know, it was frustrating. It was very, very frustrating. So, Carrie, thank you for putting it in such a nice way. And I do plan on doing some more with that. And I have implemented some more systems here to make it a little easier. And when I get a little bit better at it, I'll show you how to do it again. But right now, I just, honestly, I don't even want to, I don't even want to attempt it because, you know, all the experts come out and tell you that you're doing everything wrong. So I just want you to know that that doesn't just happen to you. It happens to me too. People say that to me a lot too. So, you know, we just have to do the best that we can do. And that's what I always tell everybody. Just do the best that you can do. It's your process. It's your journey. And we are all learning. We are all learning. You know, if we already knew how to do these things, then we wouldn't need anybody to show us, right? So, okay. The next question that I have is on my DIY lined drawstring mini backpack purse organizer with pocket. That was the little pouch that I made to insert into my little Minnie Mouse backpack that I used when I went on my trip last week. And I want to tell you right now that it worked out great. So I was so glad that I made it, and I was able to put all my stuff in there, and it held it perfectly. So I was able to fit my wallet in there, my chapstick, my car keys, my medication, my son's wallet was in there, and I think that was it. I wasn't able to put the gum in there, but I had an extra pocket in my backpack, so I was able to pull the drawstring and go that way. Oh, my inhaler. So everything fit in there, and it worked out great. So Michelle Myers asked me, love the fabric. Where did you get it? And what does the selvage say? I want to buy some. Cute, easy project. Thank you. And I want to thank you all for your kind comments on that project. That was a big hit. Everybody seemed to really like that one. Michelle, unfortunately, I do not have anything written on the selvage edge, as you can see. So I only bought a 1/4 yard of this, but it doesn't have, I mean, it cut it off right here, as you can see there. But I got this fabric at Joann's. So you should be able to find it there. I would just look up maybe metallic hearts, because look at that. Those hearts are a little bit metallic that way. So, okay. We have another comment on quilting edge to edge on your embroidery machine part 1. Laura says, hi, you mentioned a video on using Amazon finds. I could not locate and would be interested in seeing. So Laura, the Amazon links that I'm talking about are actually down below in the description box below the video. If you click a little arrow, it'll bring down the drop down menu, and you'll be able to see all of the shopping links that are down below. And I have an Amazon store where I list everything that I use. So things that I have in my quilting room are in there. Embroidery supplies are in there. I even have stuff in there that I use for around my house. So in case people are curious what kinds of items that I do use. So that's where you will find that. It's down below in the description box. So I hope you enjoyed that. I did. I am so sorry that I have not been able to get to the comments. I usually try to get to those, and I try to respond to everybody personally, or at least like the comment that you've left me. But things have been so crazy. I haven't had a chance to get to that. So I still want to thank you for your patience and for doing that. And so if you would like to follow me on social media, the links are down below in the description box. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to share it, that's great, because sharing is caring. Don't forget to click the little bell. You will get notified each and every time that I upload an awesomely cool new video. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe too, because you don't ever want to miss a video that I upload. And keep on crafting. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.